Hi, I'm Glynnie Walford, Commercial Director for Martin Collins Enterprises. Today we are at Little Alderbrook Farm, owned and run by Lorraine Bone and her father Mike. And today we're actually here to show you how to install our Clopf fibre into an existing sand arena.
Today we're at the final phase of redoing my school, and we've been putting down the Clopf fibre. I had sand in there and it was riding very deep. The corners were really starting to chop up. And then of course in the summer, if you get some dry weather, it gets dusty. It's like being at the beach, which is really not a lot of use if you're trying to school your horse.
These are polypropylene fibres. It's quite wondrous stuff really. If I squish it like this, really close it up tight, you can see how it springs back out. It's going to give your horse more cushion and energy and lift.
Martin Collins have been really, really good, sort of even far earlier on in the project. They've been really, really helpful, which was great.
Right, well here we are in the arena. Now the first thing to check is the sand, to make sure that it's level and you have the right depth all the way over. Now we use what we call a dibber, which is obviously just a single shaft of steel marked off with a piece of tape at the desired depth, and in this case it's 5 inches from the tip to the bottom of the tape. If you haven't got a dibber like that, then a garden fork is just as good. Again, just measure 5 inches from the tip to the bottom of the tape, and again when you put it into the sand comes to the bottom of the fork and you have your 5 inches. And you can do that all the way over to make sure that you have got a uniform depth, so you can go ahead and start to put the Clopf into the arena.
Okay Lorraine, what we're going to do now is we're going to work out what area this bale will cover in the arena.
Okay.
So if you mark your arena out, it's 20 metres wide, so we're going to divide it up into 5 metre widths.
Okay.
Right? We know that this bale weighs 290 kilograms.
Yeah.
And we're going to divide it by 4.5 or 4.5. Once we've got that result, we then divide that then by 5. And the reason we do that is we're going in on a 5 metre strip.
Right, okay.
12.9 metres. So we know we're going to come in with our tape, 12.9, mark it off like so, and this bale here is going to cover that section there. Okay?
Excellent.
Good.
Thank you.
Right, let's go to it.
Here we are, right, we're going to measure out the next bale section. 12.9 metres, right. There we are, measured out to 12.9. So I'll just show Lorraine now how to mark it with the rake. Take the rake with the tines away so you're not touching the tape, and just gently, without moving the tape, just along the line like that. That's it, perfect. I'll give her 8 out of 10.
By the end of it, I'll get 10 out of 10.
Lift the end of the tape out, and we can come down here and we can measure, make sure we measure 5 metres back. We've got 5 metres to the board, which is our section, and so we have our new section that the next bale will go into.
I'm going to go and get the tractor going.
Right, Lorraine is now going to cut the wires on the bale, but first remembering to make sure that everybody is standing well clear. Well done. Now we get our volunteers to start opening the bale out. if you've still got a lump like that, that needs to be broken up. It's like a hay bale or a straw bale, so there's no lumps in it, it's just broken up into a tilth. When you put your fork down, just almost go down to the top of the sand, and you can feel if there's a lump buried like that, for argument's sake. When you come to sprinkle the fibres down the board, it's best to leave a little gap against the board like that, because you won't be able to get right up with your power harrow and rotavator. So we need 6 inches like that, so that you know that the rotavator and power harrow, when they come down, will come down on roughly that line there, and all the fibres will get worked in. Yeah, right, now we've done 2 sections by hand. We are going to show you an alternative way of breaking up the bales if you have a friendly farmer who might have the machinery. This is the alternative to doing it by hand. Sometimes farmers will have one of these implements for cattle, and the idea is that the bale goes up to the big blades on the end, and it'll chop it up and shoot it out on a chute, and you can work your way just up and down the section that you measured out and put the bale into that section. It's a lot quicker than doing it by hand. This section here is not as long as the bale measures out. So the bale will go 16.75, but we have 10.75. So what we'll do is we'll do another section here of 5 meters across, and then we'll go up 6 meters. So effectively we'll have an L shape to put that bale into, and then it'll give us the start of our new run up to the other end of the arena.
It's all finished, it's all levelled out across the sand, so now what we're going to do is water. The whole point is that we're going to water to settle the fibre, and that then makes it easier for power harrowing and rotivation. Some people have irrigation systems, or you can use a hose pipe. What we're going to do is we're going to move this way, because you're going to do it in sections.
Yeah.
And you want to really give it a good watering, a good soaking. Very slowly, that's about it. And then you can see how it starts to change colour.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking at the fibre, and you'll see that when you first start watering, it actually moves, almost like a spring, like a bed spring. And as it absorbs more water, it will start to flatten. That's your key, that's your guide. But you really want a good amount of water on it, so that when it's power harrowed and rotivated and rolled in, it's bedded in well right from the start. Okay, so now we've watered the arena, next stage is to roll. And we use a Bomag 120 double drum roller that rolls in the wetted fibre just into the top of the sand.
We've watered and we've rolled, and all the fibre is on top of the sand. The next stage is to power harrow. The power harrow will start to mix the fibres into the sand. It's got blades underneath, so all the way along, so it mixes in, starts to mix it in that way. And then when we rotivate, the rotivator actually physically turns it that way and mixes it all up together. And then we will finish off with the Arena Master, which will just polish it all off nicely and leaving it ready to ride. When you're power harrowing, you need to choose the slowest speed possible, so it gives the chance for the power harrow or the rotivator to give it a good mixing in. We were able to do this in a day because obviously we had help to help us, and also we had the equipment. You can still do it with one tractor, but it may take you a bit longer. So within 2 days you could have the job done, no problem at all. Every stage is very simple and anybody can do it.
Fantastic. The difference is just absolutely amazing. Sort of from riding in it yesterday, sort of where the corners, even having rolled it after 10 minutes, the corners were just chopping up. And then to riding on it now, I mean, there's no hoof prints, there's no track marks. The corners are fantastic. So it's amazing like what difference one day's work can make to your Arena.
If I can do it with my tractor, then anyone can.
Once the fibre had gone in and it had been rotivated in and then gone over it with the roller, it sort of disappeared. And you think, well, where's it all gone? But having gone over it with the Arena Master, and it sort of sprung to life back up on the surface, and it's real springy. So it makes a real difference. You haven't got to plough through the sand anymore. It's like having your own competition arena at home. Well worth it.